Thank you, Hayan. So today I would like to talk to you about my journey, and Hayan just said it, so let's move to the actual slide. I spent 18 years at Toyota, so I always say it's like 4,000 days of training because every day you learn something. So don't believe that having a black belt after 10 days or 15 days, you know everything, because after 4,000 days, you really know a lot about what you don't know yet. So I show on this slide a number of things that I had the chance to see. On the top left, I had the chance to meet Akio Toyoda several times, but on the bottom left is we participated to a global innovation fair, which was a huge organization where all the top management of TMC in Japan was participating. And you see me at the top center is after 15 years at Toyota Europe as a chief information officer, I had the chance to move to Japan and to spend 3.5 last years of my Toyota career as a senior advisor to the president of that company. So that's why I got their jacket on the picture. And on the bottom in the center, you see a picture of a training. I joined Toyota, I was 46. And so I had to learn a lot to catch up with the people who already learned for 20 years at the same age within Toyota. And believe me, they learned a lot. And so we had the chance to follow this training with half Japanese people and half people from overseas. We went to the Toyota University in Japan, and also we went to Wharton University in the United States. So this was in 2008, and we had the chance to present to the president of Toyota Motor Corporation an E3 that we all did, a different one for every person, about a project that they wanted to do. So on the top right, you see me with one of the top managers of Toyota IT in Japan. But on the right center, you see really my sensei, Chiba-san, who spent 4 years to really try to make me a good Toyota person, able to teach Toyota way to people outside Toyota. And I'm really incredibly grateful to him that he spent really 4 years of his life to focus on me. And on the bottom right, you see Hayashi-san, who unfortunately passed away this year, who was a student of Ono-san. And at that time, I must say, I didn't imagine, oh, I should absolutely be on the picture with Hayashi-san. So I was in the room, but not on the picture. So he really came to us, whether it was to the factories in Europe where we had the chance to hear his advice, but he also came to listen to things like IT systems and so on. And he always had comments that nobody else had before. He saw things others didn't see. So he will be missed, but thank you for his learnings. So you can see here two A3 documents that I made while at Toyota. So it's not a myth. People really do A3s at all levels in the companies. I had a chance to join as a director, so that is a chance. But at the same time, you have not learned to do it many times as a normal employee, I would say. So it's pretty tough, but everybody has to do it, and it's good because that's where you understand you cannot mentor things to do it if you haven't done it yourself. So you also need to do it. And then I had the chance to mentor hundreds of people to do their own Toyota business practice of problem solving. Next, in 2023, in July, I reached 65 years, and that's the normal age to retire for me in Belgium, which was my home company. So I had been 3 years and 4 months in Japan. So I retired from Toyota. I thought maybe I will really retire, but it didn't really happen. Everybody told me, no, we don't believe you, you won't retire. So what should I do? So I started to create a company with my wife that you just heard, and of course associate. And just being a consultant going to companies, no, I didn't want to do that because I had seen many consultants in my life, and my idea of supporting company doing lean is not a thing that you would call a consultant. is more a coach, or some people say a sensei, but you can never say of yourself that you're a sensei. The others will say it if you really help them. And of course, I found Lean institutes in my country, Belgium. There was one in the Netherlands. There was one in France, but in between we didn't have one. And I was really surprised. Of course, I was at Toyota in Belgium. Everybody knew about Toyota Way and Lean, but other people in the country don't have a really good level of knowledge of what is Lean. So I really needed to create awareness in the country. So how to do that? And then, of course, you have to reach other industries. So I had experience at Toyota with manufacturing and also with information technology. But now we have to support companies in healthcare, in government, construction, and so on. So there are so many things to learn. And among those things, how to do marketing without pushing, because for me, marketing is sometimes a lot of push. So I don't want to push, but at the same time, if I don't explain to people what is Lean, even if at the beginning they are not very interested, it's very difficult to reach to raise the awareness in the country. And then, of course, I need to convince non-Lean CEOs to do Lean, and even rich CEOs was not the natural things I did every time before. So now I have to participate to CEO meetings, explain what we are doing, why it's important for them, etc. So when I see all that, is definitely it's not because you spend 20 years at Toyota that you know everything. There are so many things that you need to learn, but you also learn many things. So you need to bring what you learn to the community where you are, but you also need to learn a lot to be able to bring those things to them. So basically, we decided to jump into the water and create the Lean Institute Belgium. I was 66. Ryan is a bit younger than me. And we are learning doing those things. So luckily, we have the support of the Lean Global Network, who is organizing this conference. It's really a global network with many people very knowledgeable of Lean, many coming from Toyota, but also many coming from outside Toyota who have made experience implementing Lean in many different fields and industries. So I'm lucky that they invite me to present at their conferences, but after I present, I listen to also all the other presentations and I learn a lot. So the two pictures on the bottom are our yearly meetings. Bottom left is in Colombia, I think, and bottom right is in Hungary last year and this year. In the center, you see us with René Arnolds when we created the Lean Institute Belgium with his support. And on the top left, you see me in Barcelona recently. And at the top, you see us doing a trip visiting Toyota suppliers with CEOs from France, actually, with Institut Lean France. And also small on the right, I presented at the French Lean Summit and at the UK Lean Summit. So many opportunities. But of course, we shouldn't be abroad all the time. We need to bring Lean to our country. So that is very important also. So learn and bring back what you learn and apply it in your country. So in Belgium, I get a lot of questions for people. First of all, many people, even very educated people, don't know what is Lean. So we try to explain the best we can in a few words. And if they're interested, we can propose books to them, or we can propose training if they want to know more. But many people in Belgium said, yes, I know Lean Six Sigma, or yes, I know Lean Startup. So these things seem to be very well known. However, as know what we did at Toyota was not Six Sigma. Toyota is not doing Six Sigma. Toyota is just doing Lean. So what we are doing is teaching Lean. We are not Six Sigma experts. And of course, Lean Startup is application of Lean startups. So it's just one of the many applications that are possible. So we give different levels of trainings. Yellow belt is in-company training, which we give now to a few companies. We started to give green belt and black belt to see our first cohort of black belt training in Belgium. And we do also non-for-profit activities like presenting Lean to schools and so on. So we hope that many people will will know what it is later when they will start working in companies. And on the bottom left, you see one of the activities I do to reach the CEOs. So I will speak on the 9th of December to a group of CEOs about, and the subject is business transformation. My other speakers may talk about other ways of doing business transformation, but of course I will promote lean transformation in that kind of meeting more and more. Then I show here an example from the excellent book called Upgrade to Hospitality Excellence that has been done by our colleagues in Spain, and also Roberto Priolio, Oriol Cuatrecasas, and with support from the hotel group called Dream Place in Canarias. And you know, when you come from Toyota, you have learned one way to do things, like problem solving has 8 steps. You have to do, you know, clarify the problem, break down the problem, set a target, etc. But what you can see in this book is when you start in a hotel and you have to talk to the barman about the way they do a mojito. You can see there's a difference between different mojitos because they don't apply a standard and many other reasons. Maybe you shouldn't take 6 months to explain them the perfect way of doing problem solving, but maybe a simplified way will help a lot and will help them get started without being scared. So that's one of the things I heard after leaving Toyota, you know, is don't start by trying to apply everything that Toyota is doing, because you have a risk to make it too complicated for your customers. And the main thing is to get them started, and then they can learn more complex ways to do more complex problems later. The second example is I did a PhD about lean at the University of Strasbourg between 2014 and 17. So I finished when I was almost 60 years old. And I did what I call the ontology of lean, where I had more than 100 concepts of lean, and grouped them in a number of top-level concepts that you can see on this slide. And I like personally this way of doing, because when I go to a new industry, this year we went to hospitals, for example, which we had not done before. But I look at all the concepts and really try very hard to understand what it means in that context. And when we give training, which will be the subject of a presentation starting in 45 minutes from a hospital in Brussels where we did it. And we ask ourselves, okay, what does it mean, all these concepts, if we are in a hospital? And of course, you don't invent that by yourself. You look at people who have done it before. There are many videos, there are books, and more importantly, you talk to the actual people in the hospital. You train them, but also they train you, because they explain their concrete examples. And then you understand, if I take the example of just in time, if a person is ordering a car, okay, they want their car at the time where it's promised. They want the car they ordered. They want it with good quality. Okay, easy to understand. But now I'm in a hospital. So what does it mean to have just in time and to have a because some patients go to the hospital and they don't know what will happen to them. They don't know what will be the diagnostic. They may not know when they will come out of the hospital and so on. So you have to really find what it means. But then when you start thinking about it more, you see, yeah, a person who goes to the emergencies, well, they want their case to be treated as quickly as possible. And they also want to have visibility if they will stay 1 hour or 4 hours. And if they have to move to the hospital, they want to know also how much time it will take until they can be cured. So it's all possible, but it requires to think out of the box whenever you start in a. So we had the chance to give in-company yellow belt training to IT companies, which was my field before, so it's a bit easier. And a consulting company doing transformation of companies, very different already. And then to hospitals, we are now working on agriculture, and we would like also to work on government, because as I guess in many countries, you would really love to have your government improve a lot. So that's one of the next things we would like to do. And the third example is we want to continue to follow Toyota, because, you know, the day you leave Toyota, Toyota doesn't stop doing Kaizen, and Toyota doesn't stop to do many new things. So it's very important that you keep abreast with what Toyota is doing. And there are many books. Personally, I like looking at books when they are still in Japanese and not yet, because there's so many interesting things. And I have the chance that my wife can read Japanese very well. I read very slowly. She's much quicker than me with her Chinese background. So we have two books here that she has read recently. One is Toyota's Amazing Lines. I will say a few words about that. And another one is Jikotei Kanketsu at Toyota, which was written by Shinichi Sasaki, who happened to have been the president of Toyota Motor Europe when I was there. But he was also the top head of quality for the whole Toyota group. So he is really the one who introduced Jikotei Kanketsu, or built-in quality with ownership, in Toyota, also in the non-production areas. And that is really also very interesting to read this book. So I will say just a few words about those two books, and then we'll wrap up. So Toyota Amazing Lines is really saying that whatever Toyota is doing, they try to set a line to say, this is what we want to reach. If people don't know where they have to go, it's very difficult for them to go there. So I don't know if it's the best example, but I show you here an example of sales and cumulative sales. So the blue line is the plan that you have. Maybe in the month of January, you have more sales because there's a motor show. That's a case in Belgium. It's always in January. Maybe February is a month where there are less days, or we'll sell less cars, so the plan will go a bit down. And then March is a month where many cars are sold, and so on. So you have a plan, and then you just map your actuals. And obviously, if your red line, which is actuals, is under your plan, you know that you have to catch up. And then at any time, you just look at those two lines, and you know where you are. You know if you are late, or you know if you're on top of things, and you overachieve your target. It seems simple, but it's the way to do it systematically, which is quite interesting. Even if you talk about an IT system, you want to deliver 100 objects, you just put a line with the 100 objects, and then you look day after day what you have delivered and if you're on schedule. So it seems basic, but you have to draw the right lines, and you have to think a bit about what you do. Otherwise, you will send your people in the wrong direction. And this is why it's important to look at criteria. There can be no improvement in a workplace if you have no criteria. There's a standard. So the standard is the best method currently available, but you then constantly want to go to a better standard. And of course, the overall direction of your company, we call that the Hoshin, say that we have a direction for the organization, and every line that we strive to achieve and overachieve should bring us closer to the Hoshin. So draw a line is simple to say, but it's not easy to do. And we want to say what is normal, what is abnormal using those lines. And of course, as you have seen many times, we are doing a lot of problem solving, and the problem solving is going from a current state to an ideal state. And the ideal state is dynamic, so it must constantly be reflect changes. And by solving problems, you get to more and more ideal states, and finally to your ultimate goal. And the line helps you show the problem, so then you can solve them one by one. In the example of the hospital, when the person comes out of the hospital one day late, that means there's a problem. You should look at that problem and try to make sure it doesn't happen again. And then Jikotei Kanketsu, which literally means self-process completion, but it's translated in English as built-in quality with ownership. Sasaki-san talked about the example of the happy grocery owner, and he thought, oh, why many employees don't seem happy and the grocery owner is happy? is because basically he is trying to sell the best vegetables to his customers. And when the customers are happy, they tell him and he gets immediate feedback and appreciation. But also when it's not so good, he gets the complaint, which help him improve. And this feedback is done directly. So JKK is really the way to bring this way of working to everybody in a much larger company. So how to get feedback when you don't do something right, how to know what right means, what good looks like, and so on. So this is what we do with JKK, which we cannot talk about in detail now, but it's very important to deepen it so that every employee can be happy, and then every happy employee can deliver quality product services to their next immediate customer and to the final customer in the end. So in conclusion, Toyota production systems are lean, but we don't say lean at Toyota. Learning within Toyota, continued study of Toyota, and learning from applying lean and TPS outside Toyota is really something that can gradually enrich things. And we are happy that in the Lean Global Network, we have 28 Lean Institutes with people who have multiple experiences from within Toyota, outside Toyota. And we should continuously talk to each other about how we can help each other, help our customers. And we want also to help the countries where we are, because we believe Lean is a better way to manage companies. And we want them to know it, and we want them to help them do it. So don't look only inside Toyota, look outside Toyota. As the founder of Toyota said, open the window. It's a big world out there. Thank you very much. And then I look at if we have questions. Well, the entry point is always the customer. Your customer must have problems and with your products or with your services. So look at the impact you have on your customers, listen to them. It's not always fun because they may complain a lot about your products or services, but the worst thing is to put your head in the sand and not listen to them. So look at their actual problems and solve them one by one, and make all your people problem solvers. There's not one person who will solve thousands of problems if you have thousands of problems. But if all your employees become good problem solvers, then it's impossible that the customer won't see it. So that's where we should start. Sorry, I don't get it. Well, I think any customer in the world hopes to get what they want when they want it and in the quality they want. And everything in Lean is organized around doing exactly that. So, and by the way, the customer expectation for quality is not that you would do over quality or over processing and so on. It's that you will do exactly what they need. So sometimes people agree to have a quick solution which is not perfect because they want to be a test with that and give you more feedback, like we do with agile programming. And this is it's super important to listen indeed to your customer expectations. And if you understand your customer expectations, you have a chance to satisfy them. Yeah, this is done by, for example, JKK. You need to have a good process, you need to have a capable operator, and you need to have judgment criteria to know when your customer will be happy. And that means understanding deeply your customer expectations. Mhm. Yeah, but of course, that's a constant struggle, but there is no problem-solving exercise where Toyota doesn't look at what happens also outside Toyota. Yeah, what is the situation in the country? What is the situation in the market? What is the evolution? What are the risks and so on? So because Toyota is basically constantly looking outside to gather as many informations as possible. A good example is maybe you talk about electric cars. Yeah? So uh, many companies say, okay, we'll have only electric cars, so let's stop every other powertrains and do electric cars. But Toyota is always looking at, yeah, but in this and this and this market, it will be impossible to have full electric cars by this date. So we have to provide them other powertrains. And there are other solutions that have also zero emissions, like the hydrogen cars. So Toyota always thinks deeper and doesn't like the fads like uh, everybody wants electric cars now, so everybody should do only that. Toyota always looks on the longer term. Yeah, but what will be really the impact? And thanks to that, I think that Toyota makes decisions which are sometimes criticized, but sometimes 10 or 20 years later, you realize that they thought so deeply and the others didn't, that they could continue become more and more successful. And of course, Toyota is also providing electric cars because it makes sense in many markets today. My my first A3 was one where I was talking about describing business processes that could be used for systems and using a tool for that. It was actually a very bad subject. So I first spent 2 months to try to convince my mentor that this was a good subject. Finally, he gave up and we took that subject. But then by doing this, I realized that actually that was not the most important problems I had. But that was my learning, of course. And I spent 6 months to do it. And I had 23 versions, and I presented to the president of Toyota Europe. And he said, I don't feel the sweat in your document. And that's because I didn't go enough to the potential customers to ask them if they really needed what I was doing. So I learned a lot, but you don't expect that your first problem solving is one where you will help the company. It's the one where you learn how to do it, what is the process, and we also learn everything you don't know yet and that you need to improve. Yeah. But lean is suitable for any area, but I would say transportation and logistics is really a fundamental area. Logistics is always considered super important by Toyota. So please talk to me separately because I have a lot of things to say, but not in 0 minutes, which is what we have. Thanks a lot for attending.